I've mentioned in videos past that I originally started my gaming hobby just not beating the game. The only times I really did was because of my siblings doing the heavy lifting in games such as Super Mario 3D World. In 2019, after beating more games than usual, I decided to start a backlog for myself and got a few games for it. This has fundamentally changed my mindset when it comes to playing video games. On paper, I beat more games because of it and understand the importance of such story-driven experiences. However, there are plenty of games that fucked me over here that I had to learn to quit. And yes, I have skill issues, but my experience with games will probably just be a me thing, but I think I have a couple of advice for such experiences on how people can handle their massive backlog of games. So that's what's going to happen. This is the truth about video game backlog. There's over a billion games to play, and while we may have the interest to beat them all like in Pokemon, it's also okay to just not beat them at all. What I mean by this is from my experience with certain games. In some videos, I documented what made my experience with I Am Sensei and Souls game Lies of P frustrating, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Many people would want to give themselves a mental breakdown over beating the game, and while it's your life and you have the right to do so, it's also okay to just walk away from a game and just don't touch it anymore. Yes, I know what I say will make people upset, but I don't fucking care. The intentions of video games are considered entertainment, and if something makes you upset, we can always choose to walk away from it. But why do such a thing when you know when you're this close to being the boss? The thing is that I don't mind trying multiple times to get through a fight. However, some experiences can be total bullshit for me that I can't take it anymore and move on. This is what I meant with Lies of P and I Am Sensei. Games that I want to get through, but I know I can't win with how the fundamentals function. Yes, you can always go away and try another day, but for me, I have other stuff to play, so why the fuck do I have to sit there for hours on end to get it? Call it a skill issue, but I want to enjoy the story and experience. Plus, the difficulty has always been a massive problem for me. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for the PlayStation 4 has one of the worst final boss fights I have ever seen, and that legitimately gave me a mental breakdown. So saying for some to just stay there until you beat it is fine, but then I will just maybe have to restart the game. Some I may have to grind a lot, some I may have to figure out an attack pattern. It's usually up to the game and how I'm feeling towards it to make the right judgment. But what you should take away from this is that while it may be fine to try over and over again and you'll eventually win, but if it will make you mentally unstable, then just stop and move on. There are plenty of other games out there you can find enjoyment in outside of that one game. But isn't the backlog supposed to be playing games just to beat the game or even complete it? Yes, but I've learned to just accept the world and myself for not beating a single game. It's up to the person to know how they like their games and when a challenge is a problem. I think at some points, challenges are essential for character growth, but you need to understand that there are some people who have to learn the hard way and can't get sleep over this. I bring this up because the essential part of the hobby is to enjoy it. If you just can't find enjoyment in what you're doing, then you can always quit and try something else. Gaming is one of the many different forms that make up the entirety of the entertainment industry, and for many folks, it's not an essential part of life. The only thing you're supposed to be doing is eating and surviving. Everything else is just a distraction that can either lead to fame or destruction. Video games is one of those situations for me. I love playing them and enjoy the stories since I don't watch television often unless it's sports or national politics. And that's a part of why many people would just rather play video games, because it's engaging and makes most television productions less exciting. Not saying those shows and movies are not, but a shift towards how we consume the information also plays a part. You can say whatever you want, but video games are a form of entertainment and storytelling, and there's plenty of people who will struggle, and if they can't beat a game because they suck like myself, that is totally fine. The backlog is not a thing you need to do, but is a list that gives you pointers on what to do next, and the list will never be complete. This is just a part of life, and we have to face it as we continue on. The video game backlog does not need to be beaten. I think you should try to play the game as much as possible, but don't beat everything if you know what's good for you. I'm done.